All right, here we go. Erev Tov, Erev Tov. Let's see. We'll just fix the video capture. Who's he here? There we go. Move me down to the corner. Get me out of the way. Hope everybody's doing well tonight. Glad you're able to join me here. Make sure everything's set to go. And yeah, here we go. We're going to be doing lesson 6 of our Hebrew class. And let's see, we got the chat up. All right. And yeah, Erev Tov, Jank, there you go. And well, let's jump right into it. So here we go. So we're going to start to get into verbs tonight. And let me bring the microphone a little closer. Hopefully you can hear me just a little bit better. All right, so we're going to be getting into verbs tonight. And we're just going to learn one simple verb. We're not going to learn all the forms. But we're also going to learn the feminine singular pronouns. We've learned masculine singular forms. But you know, we do have to learn the feminine singular now. We've put it off long enough. So away we go. All right, so far we're gaining some practice reading without vowels, right? And we're learning to describe nouns using adjectives, okay? Words like tov, yafeh, so on. All right, we know our existential particles, okay? There is and there isn't. We know how to say I have, right? Which is really, it's not a verb. We say there is to me or there is to you. And we're learning to ask questions simply by the inflection of our voice. We raise the inflection of our voice. So yes, we've actually accomplished an awful lot since I think we started last Monday. So, all right, let's start with some rapid oral recall. So first word here, what is it? Can you say it out loud? And again, I know I can't hear you all. But what is this word? And if you said tov, you are correct. Whoops. Now, what does, whoops, why is it doing this? There we go. So what does the word tov mean? What does the word tov mean? Okay, and the answer is, and feel free to throw it in the chat if you'd like. Okay, so the word tov means good. Okay, the word tov means good. Okay. We didn't set our goal for tonight. All right, there we go. So I put our goal up for tonight. So trying to get 5, super chats to help, help keep the ship afloat. Very good. And oh, good, Jank, we got it in. We've got it in Spanish too. Excellent. We're all polyglots here, I guess, right? All right. So the first word is tov. Try to read the next word. Read it out loud. I'm going to increase the size of the text here. Get rid of this extra spacing, not really needed. Huh? Oh man, doing this on a PC here. Whoa. There we go. Let's just change this up a bit. I want to make it a little easier for you to read. That should be better. Okay. So far we've got tov, which we said means good, and it's important to note that that's a masculine singular adjective. We're going to learn that the feminine singular form is tova. Okay, tova. The second word is yesh, which you are correct. It corresponds to the Spanish I. Okay, I. I is an existential particle. Technically, it's a verbal form in Spanish, but it functions as an existential particle. And so that means there is. Yesh means there is, or it can also mean there are. It all depends on what word follows it, right? Okay, next word. Try to say it out loud to yourself. And the word is en. En, which means there is not. En means there is not. Okay. Next we have, well, I'm going to give you a second to try to pronounce it yourself. The answer is li, which means to me. To me. Li means to me. Herman, a negative existential particle, the one without friends. That's absolutely right. Excellent. All right, next we've got Try to say it out loud to yourself. Lecha, lecha, okay, which means to you, but that's masculine singular, right? Lecha, and ami, ati. All right, and then me, what does me mean? Me does not mean me, either in Spanish or English. It is who. It's the interrogative pronoun who. Okay, so that's how we ask who. And then what about ma? Ma at the bottom. Yeah, queen. Yeah. Who is the queen? Mi hamalka. And then ma at the bottom here means what? What? It's the interrogative. What? Okay. A few more. Next we have, whoops. Try to pronounce it out loud. Sefer. 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 Which means book in modern Hebrew. It can mean scroll in biblical Hebrew. And then we have bayit. Bayit. Hey, Davey. So me, yeah, happy to review these. Me is the question word who. Okay. If you're looking for the Spanish, Jenks got us covered here with quien. Ma means what. Again, the interrogative. Sefer is going to mean book. Book. And bayit is going to mean house. House. Okay. All right. So let's see, just clicking some buttons over here. There we go. Looks like we're in good shape. All right. So let's do some vocab review now, going through the old vocab. And we want to make sure we're retaining this, right? So the first word, ken, is going to, and we have the kaf and the nun. The vowel is tsere. Okay, tsere, a long E vowel historically. Kaf and nun without the nikud, vocalization and diacritics. And ken means yes. Yes, ken. Okay. To ask who, we just said that. That means me. Whoops, me. Mem and chirik yud. Mem followed by chirik yud. Okay. All right, just mem yud when we're writing bli nikud, without nikud. Next, we've got the word for peace, which also can be translated as what? Or what else can it mean? This word shalom can mean peace, but there are two other meanings that I gave you. I'll see if anybody can put it in the chat there. Okay. And so shalom can mean peace, but it can also mean, that's right, hola and adios. Okay. Hello and goodbye. Hello and goodbye. Very good. Okay, next we have gadol. And this is a masculine singular adjective. Masculine singular form of the adjective, I should say. Okay. Masculine singular form of the adjective. And the feminine, as we're going to find out, is gedolah. We're going to put an ah at the end, gedolah. Okay, but gadol is the masculine singular. Okay. Gimel, dalet, vav, lamed. Okay, the vowels are kamatz. That's the A vowel, kamatz, historically long A vowel. Okay, and the second vowel is cholam vav. Cholam vav. So that vav is not a consonant here, it's a vowel. Okay, cholam vav. Next, we have to say you masculine singular. Try to say it out loud. Ata. 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 And we said the hey is a vowel there. It's a vowel indicator, I should say. And that's why I don't transcribe with with an H there, because there really is no consonant ending it. The H is not a consonant, it just indicates the vowel. If you're interested in learning the names of the vowels here, I do have videos on this, which probably good to watch it separately. It's funny, it's actually one of my most popular YouTube videos. When you make YouTube videos, you just never know what is going to land with people. And so I check the analytics every day, and my most popular video, which just blows my mind, is a 3.5-minute video that I published, 4 years ago. It's Biblical Aramaic one. I started like a 3-minute language series, and the Biblical Aramaic one is, headed towards like 90,000 views or something like that. People are watching this all over the world every day. Sorry, I got to shut my phone off. I don't know why I have alarms going here. Bear with me 1 second. Hopefully that is the last time that happens. My apologies. Okay. All right. So yeah, real professional studio, alarms going off and other interruptions. So anyways, yeah, ata, you masculine singular. We're going to learn that, I'm going to be doing more on Aramaic too. We're going to be, I'm going to be, ramping that up. I have a lot of stuff on Patreon with Aramaic, so we will be doing that, and both biblical, Targumic, and also Assyrian. Yeah. Sorry, I can't read the comment. So, so, what are you, my father? All right. So, what is ma? Okay, ma, which Cenk just used in his comment there. Very good. And then who means he. Who means he. Okay. And we keep going. We've learned a lot of words so far. Okay. To say good, it is tov, and this is tet, vav, bet. But the vav, as we can see, is functioning as a vowel. It's cholam vav. Cholam vav. Okay. All right. To me, li. The preposition le is means to, and then the chirik yud. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I figured as much. I have problems with autocorrect. With my new iPhone, it's way worse than it was before. I don't know what the story is, but anyways, li means to me. And so the yud is an object preposition. It's an object, here the object of the it's an object pronoun. It's the object of the preposition. So preposition is le. The pronominal suffix, we would say, the pronominal suffix is I. Together it means to me. Okay. The subject pronoun, which is independent, so the subject pronoun, which is independent, is ani, and that means I. We only use that at the beginning of a sentence, ani. To say no, it is lo, lo, and we would say that, the two consonants are lamed, aleph, but the aleph has, we would say, quiesced. It has become silent, okay? In Arabic, we have the corresponding letters, and it would be pronounced la, la. And you can often hear the guttural, the stoppage of the breath in the vowel. Not in Hebrew. The Hebrew has quiesced, we would say. Okay. All right. Next, very is me'od, me'od, and in the Bible, oftentimes this will be written, we would say, defectively, and defectively means without vowel letters. Okay, and so the vav is not there, me'od, but in modern Hebrew we might write it with a vav. Okay, just to make it clear. All right, next we have to you, and this is masculine singular, remember, masculine singular, and that's going to be lecha. How did we say you in the masculine singular as a subject pronoun? You might remember above, we had, there it is, do it with the nikud, ata. Okay, but as the object of the preposition, the pronoun is cha, lecha, to you, to you. Beautiful, when it's in the masculine singular form, when it's modifying a masculine noun, yafe, yafe. When it's modifying a feminine noun, yafa. So if you wanted to say the house is beautiful, you would say habayit yafe, yafe, because bayit is a masculine singular word. Okay. Small is katan, kuf tet nun, kuf tet nun sofit, with kamatz kamatz. Katan, small. What's the opposite of it? The antonym? The opposite of katan is gadol, gadol. Next we have yesh. We saw that before. That's our existential particle, which means there is. There is. Or there are. Right? We said that bayit means house, bet yud tav. Sefer means book, and ein means there isn't or there are not. There isn't or there are not. All right, so there's our vocab. All right, first question, what does yesh mean? Does it mean no? Does it mean there is? Does it mean good? Or does it mean who? What does yesh mean? Always got to have a little vocab quiz to check our comprehension, right? And the answer is there is. The answer is B. Hey, Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Glad you are back with us. Just glad to have you as part of the community here. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. All right, so yesh means there is, or we could say it also means there are. Right? All depends on the noun that goes with it. Next, what does ein mean? Ein. Ein means there is not, there is, very, or house. And I think by now we know the answer is, at least if you've been, for the other broadcasts, ein means there is not. There is not. Next, li. Li. Does it mean to you, to him, to me, or I? To you, to him, to me, or I? And the answer is to you. No, I'm sorry. No, that's not. Where is it? To me. There we go. I got used to selecting A. It means to me. Jeez, I got to pay attention. All right. To me. Very good. Davey's paying attention. I was just setting you guys up there. All right. Next, question 4. All right. Lecha. Lecha means to you, masculine singular, to me, to her, or you, feminine singular. Lecha. Well, we see the le, right? So it has to be to, so it can't be D. We haven't learned to her yet. To me, we've already seen, which is li, and therefore the answer is to you. To you. Very good. All right, now try to read this out loud. I'm going to say it for you in a minute, but I want you to try to read it out loud. Okay. What does tov me'od mean? Tov me'od. Does it mean small house? Does it mean very good? Does it mean there is good? And does it mean good book? Okay. And the answer is in Spanish, muy bueno, very good. The answer is B. Tov means good. Me'od means very. Okay. All right. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Mitsuyan, we could say in Mitsuyan means excellent in Hebrew. Yep. Next. Yesh li sefer. Yesh li sefer. Yesh li sefer. Does it mean you have a book? I have a book. There is no book. Or the book is good. Okay. Well, we just saw good, and that's tov. And tov is not an option here, so we got to rule that out. Okay. Yesh means there is. Okay. And we see there's only answer that says there is, right? But, oh, wait a second. Yesh li, there is to me, which is a way of saying I have. Yesh li sefer, I have a book. Literally, there is to me a book. There is to me a book. Okay. All right. Question 7. I have to run and get myself a cup of water real quick. I'll be back in a flash. I want you guys to figure this out while I'm going to get myself a glass of water. Be right back. All right. Thanks so much for your patience. We went for, I think, an hour and a half last night. And so I said, if we're going to do that tonight, I got to have some water here. So, Ein Bayit Gadol, there is not a house, a big. There is no big house, or there is not a big house. There is not a big house. All right, awesome. Question 8. What does me who mean? What does me who mean? So, Cenk, is your Spanish actually that good? I mean, you know this, or you're translating it? Because that's you're getting the Spanish correct consistently. That's great. Me who? That means not what is this. Who is he? There we go. Who? Or I'm sorry, me means who, and who means he. So who is he? Where's the verb is? Oh wait, we don't need one. Not in Hebrew for these types of sentences. Okay, next. Hasefer tov meod. Hasefer tov meod. Well, we've already seen that tov meod means very good. And since that's the only option, it must be right. Hasefer, the book. Sefer means book. Ha means the. Hasefer tov meod. Okay. Let's see. Trust me. Shalom. In Tagalog, water is too big. Sounds like too big. And ice is yellow. So if you ask for ice water, too big yellow. If the Spanish is simple and I'm not under pressure, yes. When it comes to Don Quixote living in Mexico, no. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. So Tagalog. Excellent. All right. Sounds like too big. That's really interesting. All right. So next, Ein lecha sefer. Ein lecha sefer. There is not to you book. There is not to you a book. You do not have a book. You do not have a book. I think we got 2 more. Then we're on to our new material. Okay. Next, we've got Ein lecha bayit. Ein lecha bayit. Ein lecha bayit. There is not to you a house. You don't have a house. You don't have a house. And I think this is the last one here. Hasefer gadol. Hasefer gadol. The book. Whoops. The book. Big. The book is big. The book is big. The book is big. Lingua Franca. The Philippines. That's where I heard it. Heavily influenced by Spanish. Ah, okay. Yeah, so my son-in-law actually spent, I think, 6 years studying in the Philippines. He's fluent in Korean and Mandarin as well as English, but that's where it came up. Okay, Tagalog. So am I saying it Tagalog? I gotta I gotta know that. All right, I'll have to look that up. All right, here we go. So a little guided reading. How's that looking on the screen? Tell you what, let me just scroll down really quickly. Oops, I guess I made more than I needed to. Let's try that. That's a little better, maybe. Okay, so a little reading here. יש לי ספר טוב מאוד. יש לי ספר טוב מאוד. And try to pronounce those out loud. יש לי ספר טוב מאוד. Yesh, there is. To me. Book. Good. Very. יש לי ספר טוב מאוד. יש לי ספר טוב מאוד. Next. יש לך בית גדול. יש לך בית gadol. Davy 3, just noticed that. Thank you so much. So Davy 3 just put in our first super chat. We're 20% of the way towards our goal. And the question that he just put in is how to tell the difference between Aramaic and Hebrew. Super interesting question. So, all right, first is that when we read in the Hebrew Bible, I'm going to pause here. I think everybody who's studying here will find this interesting. It's very relevant to what we're doing. Let me bring up accordance. Boom. And I'm just going to throw that up there for a minute. Bear with me 1 second. Here we go. Okay. So, elav. Good. You can see everything that we need to see. Okay. So let's, in our last Hebrew class, last night, actually, wasn't it? We looked at part of Exodus 3. Umoshe haya roe et son yitro, chotno, kohen midyan, etc., etc., etc. Okay? So this is Hebrew. We know it's Hebrew because of the grammar, okay? Written in a square script, okay? So this is square script. Over the course of its life, Hebrew was written in a number of different scripts. Hebrew was written in a number of different scripts. In one of my videos recently, and I've been live streaming so much that I can't remember which one, we looked at Paleo Hebrew. And so Paleo Hebrew is really that old Phoenician script that Moabite ended up using, and Aramaic and Hebrew and Edomite and Ammonite and so on and so forth. So in the Hebrew Bible, when we come to the Aramaic sections, in fact, why didn't I just bring you to Daniel to begin with? Let's have a look at Daniel 2:4 for a minute, okay? So everything in Daniel 2:4, okay, it's all the same script, right? But it says, Vaidabru hakasdim lemelech aramit. The Chaldeans spoke to the king, and then either this is a clue in Aramaic, or it just means this is a clue that we're speaking Aramaic. That's how you say it, aramit, in Hebrew. And then all of a sudden, malkal almin chi. That is not Hebrew, okay? And we know it by pronouncing it. It's the same script, but a different language. So think of it maybe, even though Spanish has its own diacritical marks, as does French, if you take the diacritics out of there, they're all using Latin characters. They have a shared alphabet. And so that's the same thing with Hebrew and Aramaic is throughout their development, they use the same script. And so you really have to just look at it. So like if you look in our chat tonight, we have most of it's in English, but if you look at most of Jenk's chats, they're in Spanish, using all the same letters that we use in English. But you just have to know, if you know Spanish, you would say, well, that's clearly not English, right? Or vice versa. And that's really the only way you can tell is by reading it. In fact, I think I shared. Where did I do it? Maybe I brought it home. Who knows? I don't know what I do with half my books. Oh, wait, here we go. Yeah, so I shared this with you guys maybe last night, but where's my... oh, I can't see my camera. Hold on, we're going to turn that back on. And bear with me one second. Where is my camera? Window capture, video capture. Here we go. Boom, you go up there. And let's just stretch out for a second. No, that's window capture. I need video capture. All right. Okay, I need a broadcast manager is what I need. All right. So this says Lidaber Aravit, speaking Arabic. That's written in Hebrew. But when you look at actually, you guys will know some of these words here. Okay. If you look over, let me go this way. Do you see the first vocab word right there? That's the word ken. It means yes, ken. And this says and aywa, aywa. That is Arabic written in Hebrew letters. So the only way you could really know that this is Arabic and not Hebrew or Aramaic is simply by reading it. That's all. And that is the long and the short of it. Yep. So, all right, cool. Well, thank you for that question. Hopefully the the answer is satisfactory. Let me know if you'd like any clarification there. And just want to encourage everybody else, if you're willing to, I certainly appreciate these super chats. Helps me to keep doing what I'm doing here. Yeah, let me shrink this back. Let's go back. We're gonna shut off that and go back to this. All right. So, all right, where's our chat window? Just stretch that out a little bit. Boom. Awesome. Cool. So here we go. What were we looking at now? Yes. Okay, so we had yesh, the sentence here. Yesh li sefer tov meod. Okay. There is to me a very good book. I have a very good book, we would say. I have a very good book. Okay. All right, number 2. Try to read it out loud on your own first. I'll give you just a few seconds here to do that. Okay. All right. Yesh lecha bayit gadol. Yesh lecha bayit gadol. There is to you house big. You have a big house. There is to you big house. There is to you a big house. You have a big house. Okay. And remember, we said that there's no need for a when the noun is in its absolute form, its standalone form. Then, we can apply a or an if the context requires it. It's all a contextual thing. Okay. All right, looking down the chat. So an analogy is think the Hebrew character is a container, but the inside content is, yeah, I guess you could think of it that way. Yeah. Yep. So, yeah, same thing with the Latin Arable. Yeah, broadcast manager would surely help. But also I am using OBS. So yeah, the thing is sometimes I have the presets, but I sometimes I don't know what I'm going to be looking at. So I do have to, I'm glad you mentioned that because I have to pay more attention to that. So yeah, that will help me. So I need all the guidance I can get, guys. This is one thing they didn't teach me when I went to get a PhD in Hebrew Bible and Semitic languages was how to run OBS. So I am getting the hang of it, and thank you so much for your patience. All right. So next, number 3. Oh, wait, I told you yesterday I was going to count, right? And so let's practice counting when we do these sentences. Okay? So hold one finger up if you're able to and say with me achat, achat, achat. And that means one. Achat. Okay? Next, shtayim, shtayim. Achat, shtayim. Achat, shtayim. Shalosh, shalosh, shalosh. Achat, shtayim, shalosh. Achat, shtayim, shalosh. Good. Okay, and mispal shalosh. Okay. Ein li bayit yafe. Ein li bayit yafe. There is not, to me, house beautiful. There is not, to me, house beautiful. And let me just. Yeah, okay. So Jenk's question with regard to the numbers. Yeah, when we count in modern Hebrew, when you're just counting things, you use the feminine forms. And that's why it's achat, shtayim, shalosh, not echad, shnayim, shlosha. Yep. Yep. So you count in the feminine, generally speaking. Okay. All right. So ein li bayit yafeh. I don't have a beautiful house. I don't have a beautiful house. Okay. Arba. Arba. Achat, shtayim, shalosh, arba. Ma ze. Ma ze. Ma ze. What this? Supply the word is, and we get what is this? Ma ze. It's a question you guys can ask yourselves when I'm bungling all of this OBS stuff. Ma ze. All right. Chamesh. Chamesh. Achat. Shtayim. Shalosh. Arba. Chamesh. Okay. Yesh sefer. So we're inflecting it for a question. Yesh sefer. Okay. There is book. Is there a book? Is there a book? Okay. Shesh. Shesh. Achat, shtayim, shalosh, arba, chamesh, shesh. Okay. Hu tov. I should really have a period at the end of this. Okay, but I don't. Hu tov. He is good, or it can mean it is good. He is good, or it is good. Just depends on the context. All right, sheva. Sheva. Kind of sounds like seven. Yeah. Okay. Sheva. Mihu. Mihu. Who is he? Who is he? Me, who? Who is he? All right. So, yeah, I have some extra guided reading in there. All right, we're going to skip over that. Yesh sefer, lo ein sefer. All right, mitsuyan. All right. Let's see. So, we're going to be presenting one verb only tonight. So, this is our new material. Great time for me to pause and say, keep those super chats coming. We're trying to hit our goal of 5 before the broadcast ends. And be sure to check out the Patreon channel where by becoming a subscriber to the comprehensive Aramaic and Hebrew tier for $12 a month, you gain access to all of my videos completely unabridged. And so most of my videos on YouTube are going to be abridged. They're the shortened version. So if you want to see the whole thing, and a lot of times that's like, 400% more content in many cases, then you want to become a Patreon subscriber, and that really helps me. Yep. All right. So let's see. Yesh sefer, lo ein sefer. If you're just asking with regard to that question, is there a book? No, there's not a book. Yeah, if you want to say do you have a book or do I have a book? You know, yesh li sefer. That all just depends on what you're trying to get at there. Yeah. Okay. So the verb we're going to learn. Let me just increase this. Okay, is the verb lamad, which means to learn. Okay, lamad. Now, properly speaking, lamad does not really mean to learn. It means he learned. Okay. However, however, the way Hebrew is generally taught, and I'm not saying it's right, is that when verbs are listed in vocab lists, they give the he, third masculine singular, he past tense form, and they will write to learn, even though that's not what it means. It's kind of maddening, but you can see that I kind of give in to the the custom sometimes, but it really means he learned. Okay, if we wanted to say to learn, it would be lil mode. Now, in my notes, I made a little mistake there. I don't know why. I'm typed the Aramaic participle in there. That's how you'd say, the Aramaic vowel form. So give me 1 second. I just got to go over to Hebrew here. Whoops, nope, didn't mean to do that. Nope, didn't mean to do that either. All right, hold on. Sorry, this is all getting messed up now. Let's see. The funny thing is, I don't know how to add vowels on a PC. And this is immensely frustrating. Bear with me 1 sec. Nope, that made a whole new document there. Didn't want that. Wow. I'm going to have to break out. See, I know how to do this on a Mac. All right. Man, this is immensely frustrating. Oh, here we go. It's written correctly down there. Yeah. Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Okay, so there, now we just got to increase the size. Make it 23. Thank you so much. Okay, there we go. Okay, lomed. And I should probably blow this up a little more so that you can see the vowel. It's kind of hard to see there, okay? Lomed. And so in the present tense, okay, this would be the biblical form here, okay, not the way it's going to be written in modern Hebrew. So lamed mem dalet is what we call the verbal root. Most verbs in biblical Hebrew are going to have a triconsonantal root. And by saying triconsonantal, we mean that it has three root consonants. So lamed, mem, dalet. And then the vowels and whatever additional consonants are added, that is the inflection of the verb. So the verb to learn, we would say, is built on the root lamed, mem, dalet. But if you vocalize it with cholam, the O vowel, and the tzere, the long E vowel, lomed, lomed, okay, that is what makes the biblical Hebrew present participle form. Okay, now, the way it's going to be spelled, so ain, I see the question down there. Ain is an existential particle. It just means there is not or there are not. Yep. It's not properly speaking a verb. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, aprender. Right, yeah. Very good. And so in biblical Hebrew, you can see participles without the vav necessarily. Sometimes we call that defective spelling when there's not vowel letters used. Okay. So that's how it's written without vowels, which is going to be the case in modern Hebrew most of the time. So we're going to want to learn to catch that. So there we go. Okay, and the full modern spelling looks like that. Just increase the size of it. Whoops. Lomed. And that is the modern Hebrew spelling. We would call that plane spelling. Plane spelling. There's defective, which means we don't have the helping letters. Plane is the full spelling. Okay, Lomed. Okay, and so if you want to say, someone, whether it's I, you masculine, or he studies Hebrew, Lomed Ivrit. Lomed Ivrit. Lomed Ivrit. Okay. If you want to say as a male, I study Hebrew, do you remember how to say I? What was the word for that? Ani. Ani. So I study Hebrew. Ani lomed Ivrit. Ani lomed Ivrit. And if you want to say I don't study Hebrew, Ani lo lomed Ivrit. Ani lo lomed Ivrit. Okay, now, how do we take lomed and make it feminine? Glad you asked. And there we go. That should look a little better. And I forgot I shrunk this before. And it is lomedet. And notice where the stress goes. The stress goes on the penultimate syllable, the next to last syllable, lomedet. Lomedet. Jank, so generally speaking, the infinitive construct is going to be used as a gerund. The infinitive construct. Yep. In fact, I'll give you an example. Ledaber ivrit. Literally, it means to speak Hebrew. I'm sorry, to speak Arabic. Ledaber aravit. But what it is translating is speaking Arabic. And there's an example of the gerund, or the infinitive construct functioning as a gerund. Yep. If you don't know what gerunds are out there in TV land, don't worry about it. Not important right now. But for those who are interested in that sort of thing, there you go. Lomedet. Okay. So if you're a female and you want to say, I study Hebrew, you would not say, Ani lomed ivrit. You would say, Ani lomedet ivrit. Ani lomedet ivrit. Okay. All right. So making some sentences here. And this is not satisfactory. Oops. How do we... let's make this, I don't know, let's go with, how's that? Okay. All right. So now we've got just making some sentences. I am learning in the present tense. So here's what's going on. In modern Hebrew, the biblical Hebrew participle, which is sometimes used as the present tense, sometimes. The biblical Hebrew participle is the present tense in modern Hebrew. So if you look at, if you get the book 501 Hebrew Verbs, or you look at some just modern Hebrew grammar, the biblical Hebrew participle has actually become the present tense. And that's what's going on here. I am learning. I am learning. Ani lomed. Ani lomed. It can also mean I learn. Okay. I study. Okay. Ani lomed. So we said that's gender neutral. And lomed is the masculine singular. It's not first person masculine singular, second person, or third person. It's just masculine singular. It can be used for the first, second, and third person. Okay? And that's why when we look down at sentence 2 here, hu lomed, hu lomed. It's the same verb, but a different pronoun. He is learning. He is studying. He learns. Any of those translations work. Hu lomed. Ani lomed. I study. Only for a male. Hu lomed. He is learning. He is studying. Okay. All right. All right. Next. Ani lomed ivrit. Ani. I. Lomed. Masculine singular, so only for males. Ivrit. Hebrew. I study Hebrew. No, it's contextual. I mean, if you want to say like right now, you can throw in a word like achshav, which means right now. Um, achshav ani lomed ivrit. Okay. Um, but yeah, the word lomed can be the present continuous or just the present. We could say punctiliar, just the simple form. I study or I am studying. Okay. Ani lomed ivrit. Okay. Oops, we got a man, of course, the period here. Sorry, let's fix this. We're going right to left. There we go. And we are going to increase the size of that so you can actually read it. Okay, so now try to read this out loud here. Okay, I'm going to let you try to read the whole thing on your own, and then I'll read it out loud. All right, so we have Yesh li sefer ani lomed. Yesh li sefer ani lomed. Okay, there is to me book. I have a book. There is to me book. I have a book. Ani lomed. I am learning or I am studying. Okay. All right, next. Go ahead and try to read that out loud. Give you another second while I sip some water. Okay. Number 5. Yesh li sefer tov ani lomed. Yesh li sefer tov ani lomed. Yesh li, there is to me. I have. Sefer tov, book good, but we don't speak like that in English. I have a good book. Yesh li sefer tov ani lomed. I am learning. I am studying. Okay. Pardon me. All right, little quiz. What does ani lomed mean? Ani lomed, does it mean he studies, I study, you study, or there is learning? Well, ani means I. Lomed means learning or studying. I study. It could be I am studying, it could be I study, but the answer of the answers presented here. Yep. Oh, Davey, number 5. Chamesh. Chamesh. Achat, shtayim, shalosh, arba, chamesh. Shesh, sheva. Shmone, tesha, eser. All right, next. Try to read it out loud on your own. Hu? Lomed. Hu lomed. So hu means he. Lomed means studies or learns. He studies. He studies. Okay. Next. Go ahead, try to read it out loud. Okay. Yesh li sefer ani lomed. Yesh li sefer ani lomed. Does it mean I have a book I study? Does it mean you have a book he studies? There is a book I do not study. There is no book I study. Yesh, there is. Li, to me. Oops. Sefer, book. I have a book. Ani, lomed, I study. I have a book I study. All right, and then I didn't print this part out, but participles in the Bible, they're used in a variety of ways. What I thought we would do um, instead of actually just having like a lecture piece, people seem to like the fact that um, we looked at Exodus 3. And so why don't we just go and do that? Okay, let's go back to Exodus 3. And for those who feel like sticking around longer, we're just going to read some Bible together. And that's because I'm typing in Hebrew, which is not what I want to be doing. I got to figure out how to do the vowels. All right. So yesterday we Exodus 3 rocks. All right. Glad you feel that way. You know what? It's actually, I think the heat went off in the church. I'm here at the church, which is where my office is, and it is getting a little cold, so forgive me 1 second while I put my sweatshirt on. All right. Yeah, I wish I had a burning bush with me right now to keep me warm. Okay, although it says the burning bush didn't really burn him, so I don't know that it would have kept him warm either. All right, there we go. I won't wear the hood. All right, so here we go. Exodus 3:1. All right, so we'll just, I'll read this out loud, and we're going to focus as we go through on letting our reading be guided by the cantillation marks. And so on Midyan here, we have the Atnach. Looks kind of like a wedge there, the Atnach. Okay. And then we're going to look for all instances of Zakef Katan. Okay. And then the Sof Pasuk here is the end of the verse, and that's usually pretty obvious. So those will be our main, our guiding cantillation marks or accent marks for now, okay? All right. So here we go. All right. Umoshe hayal roe et son yitro chotno kohen Midian. So Umoshe, we said we're going to highlight that again. We said is and in this case, it means now. Meanwhile, back at the ranch. Okay. Meanwhile is actually a good translation. How do you know when it's and or but or now or meanwhile? Context and word order. Okay. So now Moses, haya means he was. Now Moses, he was. Moses was. Roe. Oh, wait a second. This is a participle. Okay. Now, let's have a look at this word roe here. So it's a triconsonantal root. We see resh, ayin, hey. Okay. We'll get into detail on the hey some other time. It's kind of a funny letter. Yep, that's right. You know the word order business. That's right. All right. So so roe. It has an O vowel and an E vowel. Now, this is a short E. It's the vowel segol here. Next to it is a cantillation mark, which we're not going to deal with right now. But the O vowel, E vowel, you remember if we look back at our sentences before, look at the word lomed, O vowel, E vowel. Okay? Here it's a long E vowel, but it's still an E vowel. Okay? And so we've got our first participle, lomed, roe. They are both masculine singular participles. Okay? So now Moses was, this is a past tense verb. Here it's functioning as a participle. He was shepherding. He was shepherding. That is how it's translated. You could say, now he was a shepherd, but it's pretty clearly he was shepherding. And Cenk, you're absolutely right. It is final yud. I didn't want to get into that to confuse people who are just starting out, but yes, absolutely. All right, so now meanwhile, Moses was shepherding et son yitro. Okay, et, I'm just going to tell you this word. We haven't encountered it. This is a direct object marker that's not to be translated. Whoop, why did I get that off there? Okay. Et is a direct object marker that is used when the direct object is definite, but it is not translated into English. So all that you need to know right now is that when you see et, it's like, yoo-hoo, we've got the direct object of the sentence here. The subject is Moses. Here's the compound verb, okay? And et is saying, all right, yoo-hoo, we've got the direct object. So meanwhile, Moses was shepherding et son. There's the O vowel. That means flock. Here, the flock of Yitro, Jethro, the flock of Jethro, his excellency. Chotno, his father-in-law. Okay. Kohen, the priest of Midian. A lot of important biblical words here. All right, let's press on. So, Vayinhag et Hatzon, and he led, here's the direct object marker, and he led the flock. So we've seen tzon enough that we just may as well memorize it. He led the flock behind the wilderness, Hamidbar. Vayavo, and he came, El Har HaElohim, and he came to the mountain of God, Choreva, which means to Horeb. To Horeb. Okay, and we also saw yesterday, and I go through this much slower in yesterday's videos. So those who are members, you can just go, watch that video, rewatch yesterday's lesson. It's there for you on YouTube in the live section. Yep. All right, but et does not always require this, like, et son. Okay, so Herman, that's a great question, but here, son, you're asking about why here is it et hatzon, but here et son, and that's because this is in what we call a construct, a genitive construct phrase, which makes it definite. So even though son doesn't have the definite article, it actually is definite because it is attached to a definite noun. Yeah, little tricky. We deal with this in subsequent lessons down the road, but excellent question. Yep, good observation. Okay. In fact, it's the same thing that's going on here. You notice that I translated to the mountain of, where's the word the? It's not there. Har just means mountain, but it's attached to a definite word, God. To the mountain of the God. Okay. All right, Exodus 3:2. Vayera malach Adonai. We talked about why we read Adonai there yesterday. And the angel of the Lord, again, same thing there. Wait, malach doesn't have ha at the beginning, but you said the angel. Yup, because it's attached to a definite noun, and any name is definite. Yep. Vayera malach Adonai. The angel of the Lord appeared to him, Elav, Belabatesh, in a flame of fire, mitoch, from the midst of Hasne, the bush. Okay? And Davey's asking, the hey in front of Elohim is the or of. It's actually just the definite article. The word of is to be read into the context, read into it from the context. Yeah. Generally speaking, when you have a something of something phrase in Hebrew, there is no word for of. It's contextually derived. Yeah. Yep. It sounds hard. It's actually pretty easy once you get the hang of it. Okay. All right. Vayar, and he looked, or he saw, and he looked, vihine, and behold, hasne. We saw that again, so we may as well highlight it because it's becoming familiar. Okay. Oh, wait, we've got another participle now. The word boer. Okay. The root, remember we said, generally speaking, we're going to have a triliteral root. So we do. 3 root letters. Bet, ayin, resh. Bet, ayin, resh. And look at the vowel pattern. It's just like lomed. The bush, you could literally say burning. We're going to read the word was into it because the participle is technically not a verb. It's a verbal. It's a verb-like thing. Okay, or it's partially verbal, we say. The bush was burning, boer, ba'esh, with fire. Okay, or with the fire, properly speaking. Vehasne, and the bush, we've seen that enough, we should highlight it. Vehasne, einenu ukal, there's ein, it was not being consumed. It was not being eaten, literally, being consumed. Okay. All right, now we come across one of the most important or most common words in the Bible, vayomer. Vayomer. And vayomer means, and he said. And he said. Okay? We'll break it down some other time. Vayomer, who said? And Moses said. Moshe. Moshe. Notice that his name actually looks like a participle too. Okay? And Moses said, Asurana, okay, let me turn aside, ve'ere, so that I may see. Oh, wait. Here is the word, the vav. I guess it is a word, right? But I translated it as so that. Why did I do that? Not going to tell you right now. Okay? Just know that it's a possibility. And Moses said, let me turn aside that, or so that I may see. Okay? All right. So that I may see what? Et. Oh, so we've got the direct object here, which means it's going to be definite. So that I may see the sight. But not just the sight. The sight, the... Oh, wait, try to read that out loud. Ha, that's the definite article. Anybody know what this word is right here? I think we've seen it before. See if anybody can throw it in the chat for us. What is that word? Everybody thumbing through their notes trying to find it. I want to see if anyone actually can get it. I'm going to be patient here. And while I'm being patient, waiting for the answer, feel free to throw a super chat in there. Yep. But what is this word right here? This word right here. Specifically, this word is ha-gadol, which literally means the big. The big. Gadol. We saw that, right? So, ve'ere, so that I may see, et hamare, so that I may see the sight, the big. Now, that is how you say in Hebrew, the big sight, or we would say the great sight. The great sight. Oh, wait. Hamare hagadol hazeh. Literally, the sight, the great, the this. That is really clumsy, for English anyway. Let me do it again. The sight, the great, the this. The way you translate this into English is this great sight. This great sight. Okay? This great sight. And we'll pause there because there's an atnach. But notice how when we added the adjectives, because the noun was definite, we had to attach the adjective to gadol and to ze, this great site. Yep. But are you noticing that we're starting to recognize a lot of these biblical words from our lessons? We don't know everything, of course, but as we highlight things, all of a sudden the text is going from, a white background to a yellow background, which is evidence of learning. Okay? All right, next, madua, which means why. Lo. Oh, wait a second. We know that word. Lo means no or not. Why not hasne, the bush? Why the bush is not burning. Why the bush is not burning. Okay. I don't know. What do you think? One more verse? I think I got one more in me for tonight before I got to crash. Okay. Oh, wait. This is a bigger verse. Well, I committed to it. Got to be a man of my word. Okay. So Exodus 3:4. Vayara Adonai, the Lord, and the Lord, we got the and the Lord saw, okay, how do you know when to add the between words? So it's what we're doing here. It's attributive adjective. So an attributive adjective is when you use an adjective in a phrase, not a sentence. So I'm not talking about the house is big, the book is thin, the the wallet is empty. Um, it's when you say the thin book, the empty wallet, the whatever, the happy camper. All right. If the in such cases where it's a phrase, if the noun is definite, the adjective has to be definite too. So that's the general rule behind that. Yep. And we're going to see lots of instances of that in subsequent lessons. Yep. So now the Lord saw that key. I think we've seen the word key before, actually. The Lord saw that, saw lirot. He turned aside to see. Now, you wouldn't have known to see, but we do know the preposition le, which means to. Okay? Because we've seen that in our lessons. And the Lord saw that, he turned aside to see. Vayikra. And he called out to him. Who called out to him? Elohim. God called out to him, mitoch hasne, from the midst of, whoops, there we go again, from the midst of the bush, va, and, vayomer, and he said, and what did he say? Moshe, Moshe, Moses, Moses. Vayomer, and he said, Hineni. Literally means behold me. Hine means behold, and the yud at the end, you remember li, to me? Hineni means behold me, which many people will translate as here I am. So there you go. We have read through Exodus chapter 3, verses 1 through 4. And the more we do it, the more familiar you're going to become with it. And the more this text is going to start to glow yellow, because every time we do a new modern Hebrew lesson, there's going to be something that we'll be able to find here. Yep. So many frequently used vocab, and that's why my teacher started us on Exodus 3. Yeah. Yep. All the binyanim are there. Oh, wait, another participle. What? Oh, not going to get into it tonight, but there you go. Another participle. So apparently, our lesson in participles was relevant. But hopefully you see that by the language being a living language, where you can, yeah, that's right, Jank. Anipo. There you go. Yep. When the language is a living language, you're going to find it becomes so much easier to learn than if you just studied the archaic biblical Hebrew. And so that is my hope, that you are going to, to find that as we go through as we go through this wonderful and theologically important text. So we're unaliving two birds with one stone. Oh, look, here's the word tova, feminine singular feminine singular adjective of the word good. Tov means good. Tova, feminine singular form. Okay. Yeah. Trying to just look really quickly to whet your appetite for just simple things that you might know. This is actually a participle right here too, but I'm not going to get into that yet. It's a different form. Yep. But what else do we see here that you might know? What else that you might know? Chotze, Chotze is going to be a similar form there. Israel, Mitzrayim, V'yomer Moshe, Ela Elohim, Mi Anochi, Ki Elech El Paro, V'chi Otzi Et Bnei Mitzrayim. All right, well, I suppose that's good for tonight. But anyways, hopefully that's helpful. For those who are still on the broadcast, if you haven't become a Patreon member already, please consider doing so, or at least becoming a member to the YouTube channel. You know, little by little, all the support from the super chats, the memberships, really helps me to keep doing what I'm doing and getting the word out there. And obviously, I'm for those who are supporters, happy to do special perks like we just had a private Zoom meeting for channel members. And those of you who are channel members, please be sure to contact me if you'd like to do another one. Always happy to do this stuff for people who take care of me. Finally, would learning modern Hebrew confuse or slow down biblical Hebrew? No, it would actually expedite it. Yeah, it would actually expedite it. Yeah, and it would help your comprehension immensely. And that's why these lessons that I'm doing are principally modern Hebrew lessons. They're not biblical Hebrew at all. But there's so much overlap. And when you can speak the living language, even a little bit, the biblical Hebrew will be, it's order de dormir. All right. Laila Tov, everybody. Good night. And I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. All right. Ciao, ciao, everybody. Bye-bye.